as you may know, I am refining and clarifying my personal brand. Part of personal branding, and really any branding ever, right, is to set a mood, to create a mood that surrounds your brand. The idea being, what mood does your brand exist in, and what mood does your brand create for the people that encounter your brand. And I don't know about you, but the most mood-inspiring thing ever is fragrance, okay? Our sense of smell is literally so insanely powerful that it can change your mood in an instant. It can make you instantly feel a certain way, think a certain thought, have a certain sensation, be inspired to take a certain action. Your sense of smell is insanely powerful. And so as I am going on this personal branding journey, I am actually investing quite a bit of thought into what is my fragrance mood, okay? What is the mood of my personal brand? And what kind of fragrances are gonna make me create that mood and help me create that mood within my brand? And so today I'm going to sort of break down the 3 sort of moods or feelings or sort of scent families that I'm trying to really focus in on in order to create the fragrance mood that I'm looking for and to create the sensation that I'm looking for within my brand. So the first one is clean, okay? Cleanliness to me creates space, which is that is precisely what I am looking to do, okay? Number one, it is this space to really explore yourself, space to create something new, space to think outside the box, okay? Whenever there's something that's cluttered or dirty, we're gonna say, you don't feel like you have space to blossom, right? You don't have space to flourish or to embrace this new version of yourself. It's cluttered, it's right, you're stuck. That's what it feels like. And so I'm really focusing on this feeling or sensation of cleanliness. And it's really an introduction into the idea of curation and intention, okay? I feel like curation and intention, they lean on this element of cleanliness, okay? That it's clean, it's put together, there's care put into it, okay? If you don't care about something, then it's not clean, right? If you are cleaning something, if something is clean, if something is tidy, we're gonna say, then that's been cared for, okay? It's been curated in some sort of fashion. And more than that, cleanliness or this clean feeling or this spacious feeling, it really represents the effort to simplify and clarify, okay? It's making room for curated efforts, okay? That's sort of the feeling that I'm trying, a breath of fresh air, right? That whole feeling of you just feel clarified, you feel rejuvenated, you feel you know what? The world is my oyster. I have a clean slate, right? I can start fresh. I can start from the ground up and really create something new or create something that's really aligned with me. I'm not trying to piecemeal a bunch of different things. I'm not trying to piecemeal a bunch of different people together or, all these kinds of things. I'm just me and I'm just starting from a clean slate. And so that is my first one, is this feeling of clean. And in order to create that feeling, I feel like some of the scent types that I really do enjoy using as part of this sort of clean feeling, it's fresher fragrances, okay? So sometimes some fruitier fragrances can be quite fresh. I tend to not go for fruity just because, sticky sweet fruity, we're gonna say, just because it's sticky, okay? It has this sticky feeling about it that I'm not typically into. But some other fresher fragrances, sort of zestier, clean fragrances, zestier fruity fragrances like lime and citruses and stuff like that. But some other ones would be fragrances like cotton or linen. A lot of times those have a very clean feeling about them where it just feels very fresh and very rejuvenated and right, like a breath of fresh air, like that spring clean kind of feel. And there are certain florals that also sort of stick in this sort of genre of fragrance for me, is where there are these floral fragrances that they sort of sparkle to me, okay? I've talked about that with the Ellis Brooklyn Florist perfume, how that fragrance, it's a floral perfume, and I tend to not go for florals, but that perfume has a sparkly element to it. This, it sparkles, and it has just this, bite about it that I really do enjoy, and that makes it smell cleaner to me, and not so fluffy, but more just fresh and alive, okay? It just smells very alive to me. So that is the first one, is clean. The second feeling that I'm really going for is calm, okay? This is the heart of care, curation, and intention, is this calm feeling. When we are calm, we're not in a rush. When we're calm, we're not, in a hurry to get something done. We're not just trying to slap something together. We're not just trying to, pull things together at random, right? We're not just, that's good enough. When we're calm, we are able to put something together that we actually like. Right? Like, I think about this, whenever I'm cleaning or whenever I'm decorating or whenever I'm crafting something or whenever, right? Like this feeling of calm where it's like, I'm not trying to be somebody else. I'm not trying to keep up with anybody else. I'm not trying to keep up with the season. I'm not trying to keep up with a trend. I'm not trying to keep up with somebody else in my life and be at the same caliber as them. I'm not trying to compare myself. I'm calm, right? And when you are calm, you are able to curate, you are able to take intentional steps towards what you desire, right? And that is precisely what my brand is all about, is where it's, we're taking curated steps. We're trying to curate things. We're trying to curate a feeling. We're trying to curate a business. We're trying to curate a lifestyle. Curating everything. We're trying to curate. We are taking care and intentional care of the things that we're doing in our life. And when we are calm, we're able to do that a lot more effectively just because we're not in a hurry to get it done. We're not just trying to get it done. We're trying to do it right. And so the scent spaces that sort of make me think of calm tend to be fragrances that are a little bit more grounding, but they also have sort of a lightness about them, okay? So a lot of times calm fragrances, to me, they have a watery element about it. I think about fragrances that, they have things like water lotus in it, or, water lily, or it's like this density about it where it smells grounded. It smells like it has weight to it. It's almost like wearing a weighted blanket or wearing a weighted vest, where it's like, right? Like you're comforted in some fashion. But also some other fragrances that sort of make me feel calm would be things like musk. Musk makes me feel calm just because it's an easy fragrance to smell. It's a known fragrance to smell. A lot of times when we are curating, when we are creating a new lifestyle, when we're doing anything in our life, there's this degree of discomfort, okay? In order to make progress, we have to be uncomfortable to some degree. Finding those things in your life that bring you comfort while you are pursuing the uncomfortable or doing the uncomfortable, that is an excellent way to sort of carry on and to persevere through the discomfort, is to find things that are comforting. And musk, for me, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, like my grandma smelled like musk, okay? It is this known fragrance. It's this smell that it's like, I know that. It reminds me of comforting people. It reminds me of people that I love. It reminds me of, right? Like, so finding those fragrances, I would have to say, is like crucial. Some other fragrances that sort of make me feel calm are, sometimes essential oils make me feel more calm, but warmer fragrances make me feel very calm as well. Okay, so sort of those comforting fragrances, which leads me to my third element when I'm setting a mood or setting the mood for my brand, which is comfort. This goes right in, like it goes hand in hand with calm, okay? So comfort, calm, right? I feel like comfort is like next step of calm. It is really leaning on the feeling of calm or deepening that feeling of calm. Okay, when you are calm, you are able to reach this level of comfort, okay? It has this element of safety and of warmth, right? You are comfortable, okay? You don't feel like you're at risk. You don't feel like you are on high alert. You don't feel like, oh, something's after me, something's gonna get me, or somebody's gonna say something mean to me, or, right? Like you're not on guard. You're comfortable. You're comfortable right where you are. You're comfortable with who you are. You're comfortable you are comfortable and you are calm. And this is where, when you're comfortable, you're sort of able to sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Or you're even able to enjoy the labor itself, okay? Personally, I am not somebody that just eats bonbons all day and, whatever. Like I am always working. Even when I'm resting, I am working on something because I I like to be stimulated. I like to be doing something. I have to be doing something, using my head in some fashion. I find that when you are in this place of calm and comfort, you are able to enjoy your work a lot more, okay? So as we are curating, as we are creating this curated space, we're creating a space where you're comfortable. So you're able to pursue whatever it is that you desire to pursue, whatever it is you desire to achieve. You're able to pursue that more more enjoyably, basically. You are able to say, you know what, like, sure, this might not be my most favorite part of this thing, but I'm comfortable, right? Like, I am in a comfortable place. I have comfortable smells around me. I am listening to comfortable music. I'm comfortable. Okay, so sure, this might not be the most enjoyable part of my day, my job, my journey, my growth path, my strategy, whatever. This might not be the most enjoyable part, but I'm able to enjoy it because I'm comfortable. This is where, you're able to sort of settle into your task, but it's also where you have permission to rest, okay? So number one, you are comfortable to pursue your task, but you're also comfortable to rest and take a break and sort of take a breather from your task every now and again, because once again, we're calm, we're not in a rush, so we can afford to take a breather every now and then, okay? And so you have that permission. You feel like you have that permission. You always have permission, but you feel like you have permission to rest, to be inspired, to think, to imagine, to sort of just settle in and rest with whatever it is that you are sort of dreaming up. Right? I find that when you have space where you're comfortable, or when you're not trying to be anybody else but yourself, when you're not trying to impress anybody else, when you're not uncomfortable with yourself or in your surroundings, that you feel like, you know what, like I could stare out this window for 5 hours just like using my imagination, and I feel perfectly fine with that. And that's progress, okay? Like gaining clarity through your imagination is oftentimes like, that is a major way that I gain progress, is where it's like, I just think. I just sit someplace and I think. And, so I feel like when you are comfortable, you feel like you have permission to do that. You have permission to do that. So that's another major element of my brand, is this element of comfort, where it's like, I can take my time here. I can take my time and be comfortable and right? I feel safe enough to take my time. And so some of the scent types that really make me feel comfortable, and that I'm sort of thinking that I really want to inject in my brand, we're going to say, or sort of, right, like incorporate in my brand, are ambery fragrances, okay? Ambery fragrances, vanilla fragrances, that feeling of like cashmere fragrances. I know that cashmere is not, it's not a fragrance note necessarily, but there's fragrances or that feeling of cashmere, okay, where it's like, it's warm, it's comfortable, it's soft, but it has like this ruggedness about it. And so those are the fragrances that really make me comfortable. But I also feel like these are fragrances that it's like, in general, they are comforting to people, okay? I feel like everybody has fragrances in all of these, in all of these areas, right? Clean, calm, comfort. All of these areas, people have the fragrances that stick out in their mind, like, oh, that makes me think of this, right? Like, this makes me think of clean. But I feel like there's also these general fragrances that it's like, yeah, like in general, this makes people feel this way. These fragrances are used in, home fragrances, body fragrances, whatever. These fragrances are used to create smells that do this, right? During the fall, we're all about being cozy and comfortable, right? And what kind of fragrances do we find in there? Well, we find amber, we find vanilla, right? When we are thinking of clean fragrances, you instantly think of springtime fragrances, and you instantly think of fragrances like linen, cotton, things like that. And so there are definitely some general fragrances that it's like, this makes me feel this way. This makes people feel this way. And so really tapping into that, but also tapping into fragrances that it's like, I like myself, because at the end of the day, this is my personal brand. This is an extension of me, okay? And so while there are definitely some fragrances that in general, they make people feel a certain way, I'm really leaning towards the ones that I favor myself, because if I'm not jiving, then nothing is jiving, okay? This is my personal brand. Same with you and your personal brand. If it's not jiving with you, then it's just not jiving at all, because you need to jive. Okay, this is your personal brand. You got to be jiving. So all in all, the mood that I'm really trying to create is this feeling of safety, calm. Okay, I want people to be comfortable in my presence, and I want them to feel like they have permission and like they are safe to sort of explore and discover and just be themselves in general. I feel like I've always wanted to make people feel safe. I've always wanted to make people feel safe in my presence in that fashion where it's like, oh, you can tell me the most outlandish thing that you're interested in, and I'd be like, oh, like, that is incredible, right? Like, that is the kind of feeling that I want people to feel, where it's like when, you are sitting under the sound of my voice, or when you are talking to me face to face, that you feel this permission to be like, oh yeah, this is what I'm into, or this is what I'm really thinking, or this is sort of the path that I'm thinking I want to go. And I'm not going to like discourage you from pursuing that. I'm not going to like be a downer on your dreams. I'm going to be the person where it's like, well, how do you even do that? I'm genuinely interested. Like, how do you even do that? What's the path? What are you thinking here? Because I'm intrigued, okay? I'm curious. I'm intrigued. I'm not going to down it. I'm not going to be like negative Nancy, but I'm intrigued. And so that's really the kind of space that I'm trying to create with my personal brand, is just this safety to be yourself, okay? People who are around me, I want them to feel safe to be themselves. And if you're interested in this idea of personal branding and using fragrance to do it, then I would highly recommend you watch my video where I talk about how I am curating my perfume collection to actually integrate into my personal brand.